bars and restaurants open. We know this is spreading now with the holidays coming. So we're worried, but universal masking. We see bars and restaurants open. We know this is spreading now with the holidays coming. So we're worried, but we want to continue to fight. We just need everybody's support to make it happen.
Doctors, thank you both. We'll leave it there. We so appreciate your perspective and taking us into an inside look at what it's like on the front lines. We appreciate it.
You know, America's in crisis right now, and we all need to come together. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. It protects you. It protects others. It just is logical. It makes sense. And we need to do contract tracing. We need to have free treatment for everyone. These are part of things that need to happen right now. The coronavirus is real. It's not fake. It's real.
On this topic, by the way, a quick programming note. Richard Engel is taking us inside that international race for a COVID vaccine that could end up saving millions of lives. He's got unprecedented access to experts paving the way toward what could be a life-saving breakthrough. That's On Assignment with Richard Engel, Sunday, 10 o'clock Eastern, right here on MSNBC. We want to take it out to Georgia and back to politics, where county officials are meeting right now as we speak to certify their results from last week's election. Notably absent, the Georgia Secretary of State. He is in self-quarantine after his wife tested positive for COVID earlier this week. But the certification must go on. By NBC's tally, President-elect Joe Biden currently leads in that state by right around 14,000 votes, 0.29%. That very, very slim margin means the Trump campaign is certainly within their rights to request a recount. But even before a recount can happen, a new state law requires an audit of those election results. I want to bring in...
And that is excellent. I'm so glad they're having an audit of those results, because that will keep the Trump administration busy looking at Georgia, and it will buy time until we get to January 20th at 12 noon. So this is a very good thing, okay? And hopefully the Trump administration will... Trump campaign will ask for a recount. That'll take even more time, and that gets us even closer and closer to January 20th at 12 noon. So it's a marathon, not a sprint.
NBC's Blaine Alexander, who is in Atlanta. Blaine, the Secretary of State has said the Trump campaign can request a separate recount. That is different than the thing that's happening today, right?
Yeah, Hallie, if you will, just kind of join me here in the weeds for a moment while I walk you through this process. So what's happening right now is an audit. It's something that's required by state law to be done before the state of Georgia can certify the results of the election. And so we know that this is something that, because the margin is so close, essentially what that audit amounts to is going to be a hand recount. All 5 million ballots are going to be re-looked at by a team of auditors. Now, after those results are certified on November 20th, if it's still within a 0.5% margin, then either campaign can still request a recount, but we haven't quite gotten to that step yet. So let's look at this audit, this process that's going on right now as of this morning. So what it is those ballots are going to be looked at by a team of 2 auditors. This process is going to be rather meticulous. So auditor number 1 looks at the ballot, reads out the name, the chosen name, and then auditor number 2 looks at that same ballot, reads the same name. And if they agree, then it goes into the pile for that given candidate. If they disagree, then they put it aside, they relook at it later. But essentially, they then look at those piles of ballots, they start counting and confirming every 10 sets, and then they tally up the final number and make sure that it matches the scanned ballots that happened during the first process. So yes, a very meticulous process. And Hallie, all of this has to be done by Wednesday at midnight. That gives the state enough time to certify the state's results by the deadline, which is November 20th. Hallie.
Blaine, I also want to talk to you about your interview with Stacey Abrams. You're down there in Georgia, and you had a chance to talk with her, sit down with her really, about her efforts to try and boost voter turnout in Georgia, specifically ahead of the runoffs there in the Senate races in January. What's she telling you about the results that she's been seeing?
So I asked her what exactly it was that she found to be so successful, because, you know, her group, Fair Fight Action, along with a number of different activists here in Georgia, have been able to register some 800,000 additional voters just since 2018. So that's quite a staggering number. So I sat down with her and I asked her what it was that was her approach, what was her ground game, and what that looked like over the past few years. Take a look.
What is it about your approach that's so different? We started working on this initiative in 2010 after we lost.
Okay, so they started in 2010. It's been 10 years that she's been working on this. It just didn't happen the other day. Other people are now catching up and finding out how important it is to register to vote, to know to whom you're voting for and what you're voting for.
Every statewide elective office for Democrats, it wasn't enough to register voters. We had a singular focus on registration and engagement. It's like giving someone the keys to a car, but never teaching them how to drive. We built a ground game that absolutely combined those two pieces. We went to communities that had never seen a politician.
And Hallie, I've got to say that I asked her about 5 different times in 5 different ways what her political future looked like, whether she'd run for governor again or was looking for some sort.
We had a singular focus on registration and engagement. It's like giving someone the keys to a car, but never teaching them how.
Let me go back a little bit more. Okay.
And what that looked like over the past few years. Take a look.
What is it about your approach that's so different? We started working on this initiative in 2010 after we lost every statewide elective office for Democrats. It wasn't enough to register voters. We had a singular focus on registration and engagement. It's like giving someone the keys to a car, but never teaching them how to drive. We built a ground game that absolutely combined those two pieces. We went to communities that had never seen a politician.
And Hallie, I've got to say that I asked her about 5 different times in 5 different ways what her political future looked like, whether she'd run for governor again or was looking for some sort of position in the administration. Every single time she came right back to the Senate race saying that is her focus right now, is helping Warnock and Ossoff win those 2 seats and flip control of the Senate. So there you go, Hallie.
Well, we know you made a Herculean effort, Blaine Alexander. Blaine, thank you so much. Great interview with Stacey Abrams. We're going to be playing more of that throughout the day right here on MF.
The future of the entire world's in the hands of what? The people in Georgia. And having 2 Democratic United States senators. If that happens, Vice President-elect Biden will have control of the Congress and he'll be able to pass bills. If not, it'll be a stalemate because we have a bicameral system of government where we have a House of Representatives elected every 2 years and the Senate, they have a 6-year term, but every 2 years, 1/3 that sends up for re-election. So that's why this is important, this election coming up. So the Democrats should really register like 2 million more voters for this election. Something to think about and to work on.
NBC, we appreciate that, Blaine. Right now on Capitol Hill, you've got the freshman class of lawmakers receiving their very first briefings on topics like COVID-19, national security. So next up, we're talking with a newly elected member of Congress, somebody who gets a lot of comparisons to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
This is Jamal Bowman, and he is a Justice Democrat, just like AOC is a Justice Democrat. I recommend that you go to Justice Democrats online and look it up. And you'll see that all across the country, you've had Justice Democrats win their elections. What are they for? Of course, Medicaid for all, right? Everybody has free health care like the rest of the world, okay? Loan forgiveness to students. Free college, free state college, like other parts of the world do, okay? Jobs, peace, freedom, the oneness of humanity. All those things Justice Democrats stand for. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Thank you so much for being on my YouTube channel. Have a great day. God bless you.